Good evening, grown black folks talk. Things not to do with certain people after 5 p.m. or 5 a.m. or 12 p.m. or ever. It has come to my attention that there is an individual who is a black man who is advising women that if they do not want sex to be on the table on a date, they need to not go out after 5 p.m. I heard this from Tony Gaskins, and I have done the research to make sure that this is so. The idea is if you go out after 5 p.m. for a dinner date, quote, sex is on the table. Now, Mr. Gaskins broke this down from a man's perspective. What that essentially means is men have so little control of their lusts that they basically turn into beasts after 5. It's kind of like I will put that in words that you're basically dealing with the werewolf in that sense, and that this is supposed to be okay. But sometimes, and I'm gonna take this from another perspective, I'm gonna take this from the perspective of sometimes people do tell you certain truth, it's just that they didn't go far enough. Understand that this gentleman is speaking to an audience of black men that thinks themselves above the Pookies and the Ray Rays. So these are the so-called good men who have jobs because, if people are working, they work from 9 to 5. So these men are being told that if they work, they deserve to have access for 20 to 200, 25 to 200 to any woman they take out after work because they're working and they are the good men. That is the translation of that. That's another translation of that. This also goes well with the manosphere's determination to go after women 18 to 25 because some of those are college girls. And if they have a little financial aid coming in, they don't necessarily work a 9 to 5. They don't want women who have enough experience in the world to have a job. By definition, most women who are working work from when? 9 to 5. So that basically is enough to tell you that the men he's talking to do not want women old enough to actually be doing things in life. They're looking for someone young enough not to know any better. They're looking for an audience of people that's going to consider them the cat's meow just because they have a job, and that's enough because they are the so-called good men. And he's dealing with a group of people that basically wants access to kill a woman for the price of a female slave in 1864. Whether you call that $25, as Tony Gaskins says, but 2 for $25 at Applebee's, or you deal with inflation down in 2022, which is going to take care of your dinner at a high-end restaurant at $200. 25 in 1864 is about $200 today. Either way, the men who believe this have the attitude they can kill you for their pleasure. HIV, 25 years, 45 years old. HPV, 25 years old. All the older STDs are still out there and they're antibiotic resistant. So for the price of a female slave in 1864, there are black men that have the belief that they should be able to kill you for their pleasure. Let me break this down for you mathematically. The men who believe this are not at the moment interested in marriage. They're not even interested in a serious relationship. They're looking to swap the price of female slaves so they can get their enjoyment and their stress relief after work at 501. We're going to assume for mathematical purposes that this happens once per week, a new woman per week. Because certain black men like to throw in black women's faces that black women have the highest STD rate per capita, but we don't date out as much. So who do we get those from? Here's how this happens. A new woman a week gets you to 52-week women a year. Since a woman is fertile 1 week of the month, if you date a new woman every week, you know that there's at least 13 chances that there's going to be 13 babies. And you wonder why the numbers of black women getting abortions are going up. Let's look at this from another direction. Let's just talk about where all those STDs are coming from. 52 people a year? Because let's also talk about something else. You know, again, Black femicide. 4 Black women are being killed. A lot of it's intimate partner violence per day. So dismissed from the planet. Since we date out the least, where is that coming from? This comes from a culture of men who believe that they have a right to treat you like a female slave, that they can buy you and dispose of you at their pleasure. This is what the gentlemen who talk about like this, who think they should just be able to get off after work and pick up some woman to have sex with her for the price of a female slave. This is what they're saying. Solutions, ladies. The gentleman is actually correct. Don't date these men after 5. Don't date them before 5. Don't date them, period. What you have to find out is before you leave your house, because understand, the pandemic is not over. Before you leave your house and risk your life in the first place, sitting up, looking into somebody's face and breathing their air, find out who that individual is inspired by, who they listen to. Make sure you get a full name from him. Make sure you ask what's your vision for the next 5 years. Ask who that person is inspired by. Do not talk. Listen and take notes and research. Go on YouTube, go on social media, go on Google and find out before you leave your house. And my swirlers and divestors, I'm not talking about race, because you need to understand there are people out here waving Confederate flags who are white. What does that mean? Where are they trying to take you back to? And not all of them are waving the flags. They have the idol set up in their hearts. You need to understand that it was an Asian man who put out this idea that Black women are the least attractive, that certain Black men like to quote all the time. And also Asian men are out here conquering Africa. So what do you think they think about Black women around the world? Latino men, they come from a culture that has a 5-level caste system. Conquistadors are the worshipped men, Spanish conquistadors. Their children, the Criollos, white Latinos, are the next highest. Mestizos, part native, part white. Mulattoes, part Black, part white. Morenos, part native, part Black. But you would be at the bottom, Negro. Understand that all men are getting gassed up in this generation. Since the world is kind of dividing itself again between classes more than race, these men are everywhere. So everybody you want to date, vet. This is your life. In closing, if you are single right now, I really need you to take a moment and think to yourself that maybe COVID-19 has put everything on pause, and also have paused you in the process. If you are looking for a mate, you need to maybe take the time to sit and think about, okay, I'm single at this point. Do I need at this moment, since everything I do is a risk? I know some of you are like, well, life has to go on. No, you don't understand. For you to even step out of the house to meet that person is a bigger risk than it was in 2019. But if you're dealing with a significant population of men that think that they own you for $20, $25, and have a right to give you something you can't give back for $25, you need to think again. And what a lot of you are going to need to do, if you really can't imagine yourself without anybody else, you need therapy and life coaching. I'm going to put some links in the chat. I'm also going to put the escape velocity playlist that I have done in the chat. Because if you are thinking at some point you want to get back out there, please change your circle. If you find yourself dealing with the men who are comfortably close by, and you hear the names of these manosphere jokers coming up a lot, and mgtow and the red pill and the black pill, these cross community, manosphere crosses communities. And then if you're going to date someone of another culture, if you do not speak the language, then you're going to have to get really good at Google Translate. And you're going to have to get really good in going into other languages and finding out who these people listen to, because these people are in all communities. You need to find a circle of people that are productive, who are actually accomplishing good in the world, not just working a job. That's not enough, but are actually dedicated to accomplishing good, that have a track record. And when you get in there, then you have a better chance. But still, vet. Men are out here with 1 million subscribers or more talking about how they have a right to kill you if you date them after 5. Because if you are in the community that has the most STDs, but also you're in the group that dates out the least, where are you getting those from? From these men. This is something that should give you pause. If you're single right now, consider that you may have been protected to this time. Don't be in a hurry. When you absolutely feel like you must get back out there, vet, research, research, research. There are men who think they have the right to your entire life for taking you on a date after 5. And by the way, that level of perversion, you can't turn off and on. If they think about that after 5, then they think about that before 5 and before 5 a.m., at 12 p.m., at 11:37, at 2:60, there's no 2:65, 2:58. Doesn't matter. Don't date them. Get into a circle of men that have self-control. Well, get into a circle of people that have self-control. And when you have gotten into a circle of people that are self-controlled and productive, then see what's available to you. Don't just go out here in the comfort zone, because these people are planning to kill you for their pleasure. Literally. I didn't want to make this video today. I'm not feeling well. This is not the, I feel like I've made some grim videos, but they're just necessary. Because it's getting deep out here, but you can avoid so much trouble by knowing now what's necessary to you. So don't deal with certain people at 5. Don't deal with a 2:58. Don't deal with a 9:37. Vet. Research. If you are going anywhere with a man at any time of day where there is a chance of, quote, romance, unquote, do not step out of the house until you know what you're doing. Stupid will get you killed in 2022. Not checking on things will get you killed in 2022. It's January 26, 2022. You'll see this on January 27th at the earliest. Get this through your head now. All right. I hope I have more. In fact, I'm planning to do some Black History videos. I'm going to call them Black History Maker videos. That's a whole nother subject, but I hope to be able to feel well enough to get those up starting next week. So a slightly lighter, more encouraging subject than this one, but it needed to be said. All right. You have a good day now. Goodbye. Thank you for watching.